Welcome to the third CultureRaid podcast. I'm Zander.
I'm Nick. Joining us this week as a panelist is Trevor Ryan. His esteemed qualities include the fact that he is not charging money to visit us with his good graces, and he's not demanding anything else, and he's promised to be on his best behavior.
Right, Trevor?
Yeah, hey, I'm Trevor.
So, that being said, if you want to become a panelist for our podcast, as long as you don't have any felonies within the state of Michigan.
I would say within the United States, because we don't want any sort of...
We're not going to talk
trouble.
about what you did in California.
Oh, this is true, I suppose.
Yeah.
Although if what you did in California was like serial murder...
What you did in California is probably actually permitted by the state of California, so you're okay.
I'm not sure if that's true.
You can kill people there for free.
Okay.
Well, it helps with the overcrowded prisons.
Yeah. I feel that's a...
As long as you're just killing other criminals, turn a blind eye.
On that note, if you are a criminal that recently broke out of a California prison, we are not looking for you.
No. Well,
the police
may be, yes, yeah.
But we're not.
We're not at all.
But seriously, if you would like to become a panelist, just let us know, and we'll look at your credentials, or just automatically say yes.
Don't worry about it. I have none. So
we'll pretty much just say yes because
yes.
we're desperate. Anyway, our topic for this week is casual versus hardcore gaming.
Right.
I know that we've continued to talk about video games, and I know this isn't going to be the only thing we talk about. As you know, our topics are going to extend to other things, such as movies or even TV shows, stuff,
maybe comics,
right? Stuff
we really
involved
want to
in
upset people.
Culture,
sure, and culture.
But it just sort of seems the natural start point for our topips.
Yeah, it's a comfort zone for now. So
until we work it out of our system, this is where we're going to start.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to be completely honest. We actually just talked about all of this stuff, and I had forgotten to hit the record button.
Yeah.
So, props to me.
Everybody makes mistakes. I just don't want you making them.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anyway, so as a sort of description of what these things are for people who either aren't gamers or don't consider themselves gamers, casual games. How would we describe those?
Casual games generally tend to not have a steep learning curve. You can pretty much jump in and within minutes you probably have mastered it or mastered the basics. They have just a very small time commitment. You can probably pick up and play it for 15 minutes, and when you're done, and you don't have to worry about a 2 or 3 hour commitment to level up your character or something like that.
Right.
They're applicable to all ages generally. You don't have to worry about either a learning curve created by having either back knowledge or a history of previous games or things like that. You just flat out jump in, you learn it quickly. The concept is fairly basic, and from there it's generally addictive.
Yeah, and I'd say that's a pretty good description, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have played casual games whether they know it or not.
Yeah.
Just as an example, I mean, Trevor, have you played Farmville?
Me, actually, no, I have not, but I know what you're getting at. I might have played a game of Bejeweled once or twice, so I mean that's also quite in the casual category.
Yeah.
I mean there are a lot of flash games that I've killed time playing, and I think at least part of the appeal maybe with a lot of these casual games is people just for whatever reason they want to kill time and they want to jump in and do something quickly because they're maybe waiting for the chicken to cook or something.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do you remember back in school during any class when you had access to a computer where you would just find, what were the ones like Cafe Arcade something, or addicting games
was not
just
actually
flash games
blocked at that point.
like just finding these time wasters basically. I mean, some of them were really cool and they became other games, but I mean, you remember doing that kind of stuff.
There was this one game I remember playing way too much in what the heck was it? The drafting class I took where it was just
CAD.
CAD, where I was just like driving like a jet car, like and trying to avoid hitting cones.
Oh, Mario.
No, but yeah,
Mario.
it was similar to like a kart racing game, except it was just you against the cones. I'm amazed how good I got at this game, though. I mean, it's kind of scary.
So that's pretty much a good example of sort of how casual gaming has started, although lately it's really evolved in a lot of ways, especially in terms of the production values and the polish that's been given to them. You have some which are still kind of solo games and kind of offline, like Bejeweled or Peggle or Zuma,
Right.
and they're just very polished, yet very easy to learn, very basic games that you could sink a lot of time into, because they have thousands and thousands and thousands of levels, and especially when you're comparing your score to a leaderboard or things like that. I mean, that's it used to be that you used to compare with all the other scores on the arcade machine, but
Right.
that's still proven an addictive formula for people.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, I think, and this is sort of where we're going with this, is that casual games are generally seen in a negative light by the majority of, I would say, the gaming community, or at least the sort of
Right.
semi-more elite and semi-hardcore gaming community. And I guess what I'm trying to get at, and we can talk about this more, is that a lot of these very casual games have basic addictive principles that work as
Yeah.
a game. And so we shouldn't belittle them. But I think a lot of the more modern criticism has been of the casual game, which is also a social game, which is also infringing on such things as Facebook, and those things are seen as, in my opinion, rightly seen as being, negative.
And we've talked about this before, and I've talked with a couple other people I know about casual games specifically, and the mindset is sort of you're a gamer if you play video games, but my mom playing Breakout, that doesn't count.
Right. She's not playing video games.
Right, but
She's just essentially playing something ever so slightly different than solitaire on the
But
computer.
you look at like Mafia Wars or Farmville or any Facebook game made by Zynga,
Yeah.
right? And what was it? Zynga outperformed almost every video game company. Was it last year or the year before? They made
probably
2 to 3 times, if not more, the amount of money that any other company made.
I don't
Right?
have the statistics in front of me, but I
But
probably
I
agree with you.
remember they
Yeah.
at least doubled,
Yeah.
or they just like far outstriped every other company in terms of money, like revenue based on their games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's not hard to see why. The starting point for a casual game is generally that it's free.
And that you have a lot of time to waste.
Yeah, absolutely. And as opposed to a game where you're putting down $60 or you're putting down $50 if it's the PC version,
Right.
starting at free. That's how drug dealers work, right? So
That's how they get you hooked.
Get your first taste.
Well,
Right.
that's a very good analogy for Farmville, certainly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think another interesting thing, though, is that, I mean, you do see people who are willing to
Put real money
to
down.
pay, well, I mean, not to put money down to, get the finest farm in all of Facebook land. But, I mean, like, people went crazy over the Wii, which is a haven of casual games. And so there's certainly an interest in, I think, casual gaming, that's beyond it being free, but not quite to the level of, really wanting to make it your main hobby.
Right, and I would say that the danger with the Wii, especially with the casual games for the Wii, is that for a lot of people, and certainly for a lot of developers who have developed for the Wii, casual is synonymous with crap.
Right.
That is most certainly true.
And that's
Jeez.
really the problem. A lot of people have
Jeez,
said,
definitely a
this
problem.
game is accessible, anyone can play it, it's real easy. Yes, but it's also just crap. I mean, you can have a great casual game like Peggle or Bejeweled, but you can also have a terrible one that's just designed to be just not... It's designed to be accessible, but I'm trying to think of a good example, but if you look at most of the shovelware on the Wii, and for those who don't know what shovelware is, it's
definitely
just
explain that.
it's just crap. It's a crap title. It's soft. It's
It's shoved out the door quickly, basically.
Yeah,
And earlier you spoke to the addictive qualities of casual games, and
Right.
you yourself played Peggle and Zuma, right?
Peggle was bad. Zuma was a dark crevasse from which I will probably... Well, I've gotten out of, with a little help from my friends in intensive therapy. But yeah, Curse You Level 8 Part 4.
Zuma.
No, I want to play
Right.
Zuma.
No, don't.
Damn it!
Because that's terrible.
Yeah.
Because
Well, the
how
game's
many
not
people
terrible,
beat it?
but...
Well, I feel that, if it
Yeah.
puts you in that position of that it is terrible.
Yeah. I mean, here's the
Terrible for
addictive
doing
principle
that.
with casual games is that the concept and the basic instructions behind it are so simple that you don't understand why you're not doing things right. And so you're just like, I want to try it again, and I'm going to try it again. And of course, because these games are sort of casual, you don't beat the level, you just click try again, and you start the level again.
Right.
It's
And
not
before you
like-
know it, 5 hours have passed.
Right. And you have no idea. And this has happened to me. And sometimes you don't know where you are,
It's a little scary.
or why you don't have your pants on.
Okay, I
Right.
can't explain that or
The-
vouch for that. That's
The drug analogies are becoming far too real.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, they're addictive, and of course, there's a dark side to this, of course. And we know people like Mrs. Team, which have certainly seen the addictive nature of Mafia Wars.
Mafia Wars, Farmville, Cafe
Right.
World.
Right, and
I'm sure anything.
And my
Facebook.
feeling is that with these casual games like that, it's okay to be addicted. Just keep it to yourself. First off-
Don't be inviting everyone that you know. And
Yeah,
don't be inviting
exactly.
everyone on your friends list.
Rule 1, don't infringe on my social network to tell me about your game.
Yeah.
I go on Facebook to go on Facebook. I don't want to know about Farmville.
Well, what was that? The ad. Maybe this is getting kind of meta or referential, but what was it?
That is cool.
Toby Turner
Yeah.
was talking about Farmville, and he says. Farmville is a great way to alienate your friends. Show them, give them digital, things that they're never going to use.
Yeah,
So and so has given you a chicken, and it's like, great, thanks. What do I do with this?
yeah.
Well, I think the social aspect is interesting, although it's, at this point with Facebook games, it seems like it's more annoying than anything else if you're not involved directly in it. And
You got it.
I mean, I'm not. I admitted that I have not played Farmville, and I don't care about your Farmville farms.
Well, and I give you props for not having played Farmville. I haven't either, but I certainly know. I mean, we certainly know a bunch of people who have, and it can get pretty scary in terms of the
but-
amount of time that they put into it.
But I think that it might, and maybe this is being too generous, but it might reflect, a desire to
Revert to an agrarian society.
Yes, exactly. No, I mean, people. I think people like the fact that they can play these games, they can kill time, but they can also be social about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
with
one
people
thing-
who don't want to be social about
Well,
it.
they can pretend to be social.
Like-
I
like
mean,
this-
Well, I mean,
is-
yes, but that's getting more into a criticism of
Yeah.
perhaps social networks in general.
I mean,
social
this is the
interactions,
thing.
yeah.
When you're on Facebook, at least at a basic level, to be on Facebook. And so, for example, if you're on Xbox Live and someone, says, do you want to join my party or whatever, you've already signed up for Xbox Live. There are expectations of what's going to happen when you're on Xbox Live, i.e. people are going to contact you and want to play games with you that
Right.
you own. And so that sort of invitation is not unwarranted. However, if I'm on Facebook and I don't have Farmville or I don't have Mafia Wars or I don't have... What's the
Right.
one with the stupid aquarium? Do you know that one?
oh no, I don't. The
Whatever.
one with the fish. You keep the
one
fish
with
and
fish. Yeah.
whatever that one is.
If you have that application and I don't, you're still going to invite me to this.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there are weird settings and things, and you can turn this on and
Yeah.
off, whatever.
I've turned those off.
But I
all
don't
off.
want to help you raise your ducks. I don't want to join in your drive-by. I don't want to feed your fish.
One of those things was not like the other.
Yeah, definitely the drive-by.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I'm sort of ashamed of how many hours I spent in like Mafia Wars. Like, oh my gosh, there was a time in my life where I had a lot of free time. This was my freshman year, and just. That was sort of the thing, a lot of people just sat on Facebook all the time. Like, they would just have their computer open and, Facebook's one of the tabs that's there.
So-and-so has answered a question about you. I don't give a fuck. So-and-so thinks you have nice hair. Well, I haven't seen so-and-so for 6 years, so I don't care.
I don't know. I would just take the compliment, man.
Yeah. But anyway, I think all this is simply testified to the fact that everyone, even though I would consider us hardcore gamers, we've all had experiences with casual gaming that, while it's been addictive, it's certainly not meant that the game is bad.
Right, and this kind of game shows that, because Facebook is such a large network, it shows that, almost everyone has played a game of some sort, electronically, and whether they do it on a regular basis or not, video games have sort of, casual video games specifically have sort of embedded themselves into a lot of our society and culture.